shoujo fans, welcome to episode 56 of the Shoujo Sundae podcast. This week, we will start reviewing our first josei anime, Ooku, The Inner Chambers, episodes 1 through 3, with our special guest, Colleen of Colleen's Mangarex YouTube channel. Let's dig in.
I'd make you more than happy. Brain freeze, go chewy. Dekiru kana handle me. Takasugi calorie, sugar ijo amai. Feeling with you next to me, baby. Okawari ne shiagare.
Hi, Colleen. We're so excited to have you on our podcast.
Yes.
Hello! I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us, Your Eminence.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of course.
The Lord, the person, the high individual, the god of the Hojo Nation.
Praise be.
Praise be. We want to ask you a couple questions before we get into the world that is Ooku. So the first one that we have is for the people that I don't know how you wouldn't know who Colleen is.
Right.
If you knew our podcast too.
Yeah.
But could you explain who you are and what your YouTube channel focuses on?
Yeah, so I am Colleen's Mangarex. I do YouTube videos on shoujo and josei manga /anime. And I've been on YouTube for about 2.5 years now, something like that. I don't know. I'm losing track of the time.
And what do you love most about shoujosei content?
What don't I love would be a better question. I just really like all these stories revolving around women, made by women. I just think it's really cool that there's this subculture of, women comics in Japan. So I love talking about it. I love reading it. I love everything about it.
Yeah. No, that's also the same reason why we like shoujosei content as well. I think being able to get that representation and the level of depth isn't really possible. I mean, kind of, but it's not the same in other demographics.
Yeah.
And so just being able to identify, with what characters are going through, their struggles, their thought processes, I think that's what makes shoujosei content that much more important to me than, the other stuff. Although I do like the other stuff, but,
And just how introspective it is, too. I feel like it really digs deep into, how someone would be thinking. And I really like that part of shoujo as well.
Yeah, I love that too, because I am a very introspective person myself. So when I'm watching something, I want to know every thought that the characters are having. So you definitely see much more of that in shoujosei content than other demographics.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what are your overall feelings on Ooku, the manga and the anime?
So, separate feelings for separate things.
Yeah.
Oh.
The manga is a masterpiece. Absolutely amazing. You don't think that it's going to up itself every new arc, and somehow it does every single time. There's 19 volumes, and never once was I wanting it to be over.
Yeah.
The anime, they tried.
Yeah.
I think is the best way to explain it. They tried.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, because, the story, I feel like they adapted it well, but the animation is really bad.
It takes some getting used to. For the most part, I feel I guess coming from the experience of somebody that hasn't had the chance to read the manga yet, it was we were dropped head first into this lore of everything that's going on. And so it's I am highly interested and doing my best to keep up, but then at the same time, I'm just like, okay, this is a lot to take in.
Definitely. Similar feelings here. It was lots of lore dropping and me trying to make sure my head was wrapping around all of it.
Yeah.
I will say the manga isn't any better in that regard, and it's actually worse because in the manga, they use old-timey language. They're like, forsooth, prithee.
Oh, boy.
And so most of like the beginning of Ooku the manga, you're just trying to figure out what these words are supposed to mean.
Oh my gosh, it's Ooku. Oh my gosh. And I was saying Okoku. My bad, y'all. It's dyslexia.
It's okay.
You're totally fine.
So let's get into, anyway, I'll get over it, y'all. Let's get into the first episode of Ooku. Before we even get into our soft serve summary, trigger warning. There is coercion, there is attempted rape, there is technically being sold into there's being sold into prostitution. So the gamut is full. So if that's just not your thing, I think you're gonna have to wait for our next series, which will be coming out sometime in April, which is fine. So we'll see you then, or you can like look back at our older, like at our catalog and then check out other stuff that we have reviewed. But if this is for you, like definitely keep on listening, especially since we have Colleen on. I'm just saying. Yes. But anyway, so let's get into our soft serve summary of episode 1 with no edits. Okay. The red-faced pox has devastated the male population in Japan, and women have taken on most of the male roles, primarily regulating men to the role of reproduction and turning combat skills into a male hobby. A young samurai, Mizuno Yushin, from a bannerman family, resolves to provide a dowry for his sister by joining the Ooku of the 7-year-old girl, Shogun. He leaves his childhood sweetheart behind and adjusts to the life in the Ooku with the assistance of the older Sugishita. The young Shogun dies, and the mature woman Yoshimune is appointed as the new Shogun. She shuns the existing conventions and rules and begins cutting some of the extravagant expenses of the Ooku. Mizuno rises in the ranks of attendants, and Yoshimune chooses him to be the groom of the bedchamber, a position that customarily ensures his subsequent death. Which in actuality, it's not just groom of the bedchamber, he became the secret swain? Probably Swain.
Yeah, I say it as Swain, but who knows? If
right.
That's
no, it's Swain.
Secret Swan sounds more fun.
I love
anyway.
Secret Swan, yeah.
However, when he is about to be executed, Yoshimune spares him, gives him a new name and money so he can marry his sweetheart. Yoshimune dismisses most of the beautiful young men of the Ooku, telling them to marry, and takes on Sugishita as her groom of the bedchamber. She continues to challenge existing protocols and questions the custom of women of power adopting male names. Yoshimune then seeks out the chief scribe, the oldest man of the Ooku, and seeks information on the past in which she believes men were more numerous. In reply, he gives her a book entitled Chronicle of the Dying Day. And that is our summary. So let's get into themes. Colleen, do you have a theme for this episode?
So I couldn't think of one, and I was like, I'll see if you guys have one. And then I'll see if I can think of one while you guys
are talking
say yours.
Yeah,
so fair.
No, that's totally fair. Okay. Giana, do you have a theme?
Okay, I'll be honest too, I've been struggling with themes this week for this, but I wrote Who Run the World Girls.
Yes. The theme is Beyonce.
Yes.
Okay, the theme that I came up with, it's just that you exchange one cage for a new cage.
Oh.
There are people like Colleen who are happily married.
Oh.
But then, wait, do you not want me to say that?
Oh no, I was jokingly flipping my hair.
Yeah. So there are people like Colleen who are happily married, but then there are also people who are unhappily married and who see that sort of as a cage. And Mizuno was also, was almost married to someone he didn't know, and that in itself could have been a circumstance that he didn't like. And so instead of doing that, he decides to join Ooku, and that by itself became a cage, which I feel that Sugishita at one point in the episode said that they were like the goldfish.
Yeah, that's actually one of my sprinkles on top.
Yeah, that they were taken care of and stuff. And so that's why I was like, okay, you exchange one cage for a new cage.
Mm-hmm.
I think my theme would then be unraveling, because it starts off with kind of like telling us how the red face pox came to be.
Yeah.
But we don't know how we got to where we are in the first episode. And we kind of unravel it slowly and go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's a really cool way that they decided to do the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put that as one of my floats your boat, was that it's interesting that this episode is technically a prequel, but it's really a Zequel.
Yeah.
to what's going on, because it's like, okay, this episode's like currently, but we end up moving back. But yeah, okay, let's go into Sprinkle on Top, just us talking about symbolism. I will start just because usually when we start a new series, we talk about the opening song and the ending song. And you guys, I just want you to know, I worked so hard to find the name of the opening song. It is like the entire soundtrack is just in Japanese. I don't even think that they really made the attempt to, translate this for people. And it's mostly like, to say it's a song, either one is a song, is kind of, it's adding a bit much to it. It's more like just the soundtrack, or like, not the soundtrack. Well, I mean, it is, but like the refrain. Like, you know how there's interludes and stuff in movies and you just hear music, but there's no singing. Like, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So the opening song is called Mizuzu Corridor, if I translated that correctly, or Ozuroka. And it's pretty epic. That's kind of all I got to give you there. And then the ending song is called The Final Act Beyond the Ages, or Shumaku Jide o Koete. And it's also epic, but I feel like it's a bit darker. So in that sense, it's kind of keeps to the whole thing with anime of, okay, like the opening song, it's like sort of nice. I mean, it was still epic, but it sort of sets the tone. And the ending song is just like, dun dun dun, like what's going to happen next in the next episode. So it kind of gives off those vibes. I don't know, do either of you have an impression on the opening or ending song?
I do not. I'm so sorry. Thank you for going through all of that.
No, it's fine.
I was just going to make a joke about the opening song only being 5 seconds long.
Right. Like, I think it took me longer to find the name of the song than me actually listening to the song.
Probably.
Like, okay, I'm finding it in probably kanji, like what? Translating this? What? Okay. But either way, it sounds nice, and I think overall Kenji Kawai is the person responsible for the score for Okoku. So at least so far, you've done a great job if you ever listen to this podcast. But yes, so do you have any sprinkle on top, I guess, for this episode?
I do.
Okay.
Besides the quote of the Ooku being like a fishbowl and the men being like fish, I wrote up a probably stretch, but I had fun writing it, about the black kimono that Mizuno is wearing. So it's a black kimono with a silver water design. And I put that it's representing Mizuno discovering that the Ooku is a grim, dark place, and he's swept up in the tide of its customs and politics. And while it seems to be going really badly, there ends up being a silver lining at the end of his story.
Ooh.
I love that.
Thank
that
you.
was very deep, right? Good job.
Thanks, guys.
Colleen, do you have any sprinkle on top?
I also put the flowing water design
Ooh.
for Yunoshin's garment. So I will let Giana have that with the symbolism, because that was a really nice way of interpreting that.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm blushing.
So the only thing I put down was the book, The Chronicle of the Dying Day.
Ooh.
And the reason I put that was because I feel like it's going to just overall be a testament. Like, they said that they didn't think that anything was going to last, and so that's why they even named it that in the first place. And so I think maybe like within getting into this book and going into the other episodes, we're going to see like why they were so sure that it wasn't going to last at all. But yeah, it's not as deep as Giana. You win the sprinkle.
It's not a contest, but thank you.
I was going to say, are all these segments contests? Because, like,
We're gamifying Shoujo Sundae.
we have points. We have points at the end.
Oh, we have scoops at the end. Whoever
Oh
has
my
the
God.
most ice cream scoops, like, wins. But no. It's not really like that.
It's not usually just when I'm here.
Just when you're here, it's like, oh, this is a game. Like,
Just when the person who loves competition is here.
yes.
Yes.
But okay, let's move into Floats Your Boat, which we're talking about what we like. Colleen, can you kick it off for us?
Yeah, I really thought this first episode was just a really good introduction into this world and really gets you curious about what is happening, puts you into the mindset of the characters very well, especially since you don't really know what's going on, and we are at a point in time with them that they didn't know what was happening either. So it really sets a good tone for both the characters to be in the same mindset that we are. And then the ending, having Yoshimune opening the book as we go back in time, I thought that was such a genius move for the anime to end the episode with that.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, the setup was done really well.
Yeah. And like, I appreciated it too, because, you know, like you were saying, we were just sort of launched into this world. And so it's like, okay, I have questions. We all have questions, but we're slowly like figuring it out. And I liked that. And then also the fact that Yunoshin or Mizuno, I think I'll end up going back and forth and stuff, at least with us talking about this episode. Coming at it from his perspective, I think that it was nice because then as he was learning about Ooku, so were we at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Giana, what is one of your likes?
Okay, so the first one I have is Sugishita showing Mizuno the ropes. And he kind of almost looks like he could be his older brother. So I just really liked their dynamic a lot. He seems really sweet.
Yeah, like I appreciated the fact that he was so open to teaching Yunoshin about what to do, what to say, how things are. I was also glad that he didn't take advantage of Yunoshin during that incident.
Yes.
He just sort of explained it, which is kind of sad. But I won't get into that because that's for Rocky Road. But still just like talked about, you know, his life and his observations. But you know, he was just nice. Like, okay, we get to have this person here guiding us through what we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was a good relief as well. With all the other terrible things going on, it was nice to have like one character that was like a good person.
Yeah, he was like a safe space.
Yes, because I was just like, okay, we don't have to worry with him, which is great. Because I was not happy. I was like, oh my gosh, everything... Like, who can you trust here? I mean, you could trust Sugishita, but still, outside of him, like, who can you trust? Not really anybody. But in any case, yeah, one of my likes, I was actually at the very, very, very beginning where we saw the village boy going into the woods and he found the mushroom and he wanted to give it to his mom. And it's just like, oh my God. So I'm compartmentalizing. I liked the fact that, you know, he got something and the first person he thought of was his mom.
Just ignore what happened after that.
Yes.
Just ignore that part.
The sentiment's so sweet.
We're gonna ignore it until basically like Rocky Road / Ice Cream You Scream, I guess, in a sense, because run! But yeah. Which, speaking of moms, I think another point that I had liked was Yunoshin thanking his mom for not, like, pimping him out. Even though she could have done that, like, for people that were trying to have kids. I thought that was really sweet. And then he was just like, I want to join Ooku. And I was like, do you? But, okay. But it was nice that, you know, like, his family, I mean, he was kind of already doing the business anyway, but it was from his free will, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Just letting himself out of the kindness of his heart.
Right.
Like, it's just another way to have a sperm donor. They're just a little bit more active in the beginning. But yeah, so I guess more likes. Giana, do you have more likes?
Oh, yeah. All of my stuff's pretty reactionary. So I liked seeing Mizuno defeating Tsuruoka. Tsuruoka, it's hard to say for me right now, in a duel, and everybody's like super impressed. Because, you know, it seemed like he had pride in his swordsmanship, so it felt really satisfying to see him win.
Yeah. And then I also like, because of how, I guess, dedicated Mizuno, who's also Yunoshin, but Mizuno, how dedicated Mizuno was to the idea of samurai and, like, working with swords and stuff, that even after defeating Soroka, he was just enamored because he'd never been able to best anybody the way that he was with Soroka. Like, no one really challenged him before.
Yeah.
And so it was nice seeing him being so appreciative in that moment of like, hey, like, I'm just glad that I'm here and we were able to do this. And like, wow, you're so strong. Although Soroka was not really cool with that, but
No.
Yeah. Okay, Colleen?
The score in this series is amazing. It gives me goosebumps. Whenever any song starts playing, the introduction for the Shogun to like walk through the doors too.
Yeah.
So it just gives me chills because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
I really like the music in this. I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does a really good job in just setting the tone and kind of getting your mind to be like within this time frame.
Yeah.
I love that Yoshimune is just a no-nonsense type of gal.
Yes.
I was just like, okay, she fired that one girl. I was like, ooh, lost your job. But you know what? You should have peep game, you know, like, I would test the waters out first. Like, I'm not just going to assume you're going to do what I want to do because you're the authority figure. It's like, what is it that you like? But yeah, she's just no nonsense, just dedicated to cutting down expenses and making sure, like, I don't know, life is just better overall, like, in the area that she presides over, which is really nice.
So one thing that I really liked about reading Ooku was, because I did it with my Discord for a book club. And so a few other people were like, anytime we had a discussion day, they would come back and be like, okay, so I read the Wikipedia up to where we are now, and they would like come in with the actual like facts because this is heavily influenced by everything that has happened with the shogunate over the years. And Yoshimune in real life was like the most revered shogun from what I have seen on like Wikipedia and stuff. So I thought it was really cool to portray her in that way, just as like a figurehead.
Yeah. I think like even in seeing the way that she acted in this episode, like you can get that sense of not only that she's no nonsense, but she's doing things for the betterment of other people. And yeah, now I think that that's really cool, honestly, which you can definitely join. We'll do plugs at the end of the episode, but you can definitely join Colleen's Discord. Join Hojo Nation. We need more people in there. More. No, because I don't think you would not have an Ooku, would you, Colleen? This would not.
This Discord. My Discord. My Discord is not my Ooku.
No, it's not
your inner chambers.
It's not my inner chambers.
It's not. But it's close enough. So if you guys want to join, feel free. We'll add a link in our show notes. But yeah, I will admit I do not have as many likes left. I probably have 3.
Okay, I have a good bit.
Okay.
The next one I have is Mizuno's first, promotion equals Sugishita getting a promotion to be his attendant. And this was a big W for Sugishita, essentially, because he said that he was prepared to work in the page's quarters for the rest of his life, and this could be more than he could ever dream of. So I just really liked seeing him get, a win.
Yeah, seeing him get a win, but then also, the fact that we got to see Mizuno advance so quickly. And I think it was nice because of the type of person that he is. Other people would be more stuck up if they were able to rise in ranks as quickly, but he was just really gracious, even to those people that were part of that incident. He was just like, I'm not going to do anything to you, which,
yeah,
he is better than me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, boy, y'all will be the first ones to go down. But yeah, I think he was a really deserving person, and that he didn't take his new status, to his head.
Right.
And I think it was good to start out with Mizuno as the main character. First volume and also the first episode. So the first episode covers the entirety of the first volume of the manga. But having him be the first character who isn't going through trauma, I think he's a good introduction as well. Mm-hmm. Because he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's just there to have a good time.
Yeah. Just trying to live life, follow the hierarchy, because I think overall the sense of discipline probably attracted him to Ooku. I'm not going to say Okoku. It attracted him to Ooku at first. And I think he took to it well, which I guess maybe slightly reminiscent to people that like the military, but we don't have to delve into that. So, yeah.
We don't get into the military industrial complex on Shoujo Sundae.
Not usually.
I mean, we could touch on it, but getting into the complex for real, I would rather make a complex Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, just throw in sprinkles nights, hot
on
fudge.
top of a heated baked good.
Yes. That's as complex as we try to get, but
yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so my next was gonna kind of be post Mizuno being chosen by Yoshimune. So if anybody has anything that happens before that.
I don't remember if Mizuno helping the tailors find the needle is before.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's before.
It is.
Yeah. And that's kind of compartmentalized, but yeah, I just love that he took the time to help them, and he had such a smart strategy, and he was able to, get them all able to go to sleep because they found the needle.
Yeah, because I think in the very beginning, I think Sugishita was talking about how your life on the outside is done and you shouldn't really talk about it, but because of his experiences, he was able to support the what are the sewing department?
The tailors,
my bad. He was able to support the tailors with this strategy, which was really nice. Also, clearly they're struggling if you're not allowed to, you can't leave until you find this needle, but you're making extravagant clothing. Yoshimune makes more sense.
Yeah.
Or at least her tactics make more sense as the time goes on. But yeah. Colleen, do you have other likes?
I didn't have any other ones listed.
Okay.
But I have one that would pop up after the Yoshimune stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go.
Cool. So our guy Mizuno, he was so fly in his black outfit with the river on his back. It was simple. Now Yoshimune was just like, oh, it's simple, but really he had silver down his back that they both didn't know that was silver thread because wow. But either way, he gets chosen because he ends up saving somebody's skin, because that's the type of man he is, from after they laughed at her tripping. And so he's like, oh, it was me, but he was confident and his clothing was simple. And so Yoshimune was like, ooh, that's my kind of guy. So she picks him, but the issue is that since Yoshimune is unmarried, then basically she still is a virgin, and the first groom that gets with her, like, takes that virginity, which they're supposed to do, but it's also seen as a crime, which is why they're called the secret swain, or swan if you're me and dyslexic. But anyway, secret swain. And so he's supposed to die, basically, after he does the deed with her, which is kind of crazy. There was a lot of feelings. This is also could go into another segment. But fast forward, it's time to get his head chopped off, and he doesn't get his head chopped off. Yeah, that's the floats your boat. He's not dead.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like if there was something higher than floats your boat that we could call like cherry on top or something, would be Yoshimune sparing him. Like, that was incredible. She like sets him up to be with his true love, gives him a fake name, and makes him a free man. Like, fucking incredible.
Yes. I was so because at first when it was all happening, going down, I'm just like, you know what? He was doing a little bit much, being like the happy-go-lucky sperm donor before he got into the Ooku. But then I was just like, at least he has how many children surviving him? Like, like I was trying to like make myself feel better. But it was okay because he ended up living anyway. And so him as Mizuno died, but now he is a new person and he gets to be with his childhood love, Onobu, which I was really happy about because actually throughout the episode, anytime something would go on, it's like he was updating Onobu in his head. Not that she could hear it, but he was really updating us. And so we're like, oh yes, finally you get to be with your girl that you were talking to in your head. I love this for you. Like, right? Yeah. So I had that, Yoshimune released 50 men so that they can get me. And I made that a floats your boat just because she was right. She doesn't need all of those men to do the deed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, somebody has, like, working swimmers. And you don't need to have 800 working men with working swimmers. You can really just cut that down. I thought that was cool of her because it's just like, you don't need to be stuck here forever. You can get married. But some of the people were kind of sad, but I was happy for them. It's like, freedom? Yeah, like that's the way to go.
I think one of the funny things about looking into the history, like the actual history, you kind of realize when the author has to change things up a bit. I don't want to spoil anything for later in the series, but you start to realize, like, oh yeah, a woman, someone who can give birth, can only give birth so often.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, there's really no point. Unlike for if a guy was the shogun and there was a bunch of women, he could, impregnate a bunch of different women.
Right.
But this woman can only get pregnant once every 9 months. Like, you can't do it any more than that.
Right. Yeah.
So the Ooku really doesn't work the other way around, but they only have them there because it was like a
like status symbol
and kind of like a personal bodyguards, because they were supposed to be samurai at first, but it turns into not so much that.
Yeah. I actually had her dismissing people in Banana Split only because, like, there are probably people like Sugishita with nowhere else to go. So I'm like, while it's overwhelmingly positive and absolutely more floats your boat leaning, there might be some people who don't have anywhere to go. So that makes me like feel bad for them.
True.
But keeping Floats Your Boat and Yoshimune, I loved her just poking holes in the men's logic. When I forget the name of like the foreigner who was there.
Fujinami?
No, not Fujinami. There was like a foreigner there that she was like talking to. She's like, why are there no women in your party?
Oh, the Dutchman.
Like, are they like too sickly to travel? Or are they not? Are you saying that like women from your country are weak or something? I'm like, damn. And then they're like, you can't speak directly to the foreigner. She's like, why not? He's right there. Why can't I just speak to him? Like, I love that she's just poking holes in their logic.
Yeah. Because she is the shogun.
Mm-hmm.
So she should be able to directly speak to them, which that's one of my banana splits, but I'll leave that in banana split. But yeah, like I fully agreed with her. Like he's here to see me. So
yeah.
The last one that I have is just Sugishita being promoted to her groom of well, actually, you know what? We could also slightly put in her just having her way with people and pulling them by the collar, just every which way. So the guy was just this regular gardener man, right? He was just minding his own business, you know, doing the work that pays him. And then suddenly she pulls him into the bushes and just has her way with him. And I'm just like, oh, okay, girl, like,
I don't know if that would be Floats Your Boat for me.
Not that. It's just, I think it's not her having her, because it's kind of like, I know, like, it would be more banana split because does the gardener man really want to be bumping uglies when he's supposed to be working? Probably not. Like, you know, like, I don't know, or maybe he would be okay with it. He'd have to, there's consent that should be like there. I just found it kind of funny just to see, like, she just kept pulling people. Like, so first she did it with the gardener man, and then she did it with Sugishita, which actually gets to the legitimate Floats Your Boat that I had of Sugishita being promoted to being like groom of the bedchamber. When at the start of this episode, he was like, I thought I was going to just be a page forever.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, you're a groom of the bedchamber and you're a personal attendant. Like, woo, like.
I love that when she pulls him in as well. She goes, wait a minute, you're hot.
Right. Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, is she... I know that there are people, like, and this is kind of like weird territory. We will not fully go into this. I know that there are people that like the ugly bastard type thing. I don't know why. When it comes to hentai, they like the ugly bastard. So I was just like, not to say that the gardener was ugly, but he wasn't Sugishita. So, like, he's not at that level. So it was just her being like, what, you're good looking? Like, it was really...
Well, she had like
really interesting.
She made it a point to dismiss all the young, like handsome men. So she's just like, "Why are you here? You are attractive."
Yeah, you are fine. Like, you aren't ugly. I don't usually go for you, like, at least from what we've seen. So it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was nice that he got promoted to like the highest level, and he doesn't have to die. So that was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do just have one more Floats Your Boat.
Okay.
And that's about, I think her name is Hisamichi, the like right-hand lady to Yoshimune.
Yeah.
So Fujinami tries to like take advantage of her, but she fucking turns it on him. She's like, oh, you know, you should be replaced just like everyone else, as is tradition, but out of kindness, Yoshimune is allowing you to stay. And she just like instills fear within him and then like pushes him away, and she walks away like the strong woman she is. Like, that was incredible to see.
Yeah, like it was interesting seeing him try to assert his authority over her, and thinking that with the way that their world is structured now, that he could even do it. Like, because especially when his leg started trying to get between her leg, and I was just like, hold on, bitch, what?
Right?
But then she showed him, and I was for it. I was like, yes, girl, tell him. You know what? Kick him out too. They kicked out his boo thing, Kashiwagi.
Yeah.
So he was definitely big mad, but he's gonna have to stay mad because that's the way that it is. Like, this is Yoshimune time.
Yep.
I thought it was cool that he tried to like show dominance by doing like the aggressive, sexually dominant kind of thing. And she's like, no, let me put you in your place. I'm the actual person who has authority here. Let me use my wits and my like intellect. And I just thought that was really cool to kind of contrast the two ways that they are trying to assert their power.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. She was that bitch. She was just like, you, listen, this is, you thought. You thought.
Yeah.
It's not finna happen, but you thought. But yeah. Okay, let's move into Banana Split. And that's us getting into things that confused us, things we have questions about, scenes that we didn't really know where to put it because it didn't apply to our other categories. Giana, what is one of yours?
So the first thing that I have is when Mizuno is like first getting to the Ooku and he's being teased about his appearance. So the like being teased about his appearance is obviously the more I scream you scream leaning half of this, but the fact that he like claps back saying like samurai wore their hair like this and the color of his kimono was sought after in the capital, he's just like tearing the other guys to shreds. That was a really satisfying comeback.
Yeah, because it's like, y'all thought you could bully me, but this is really not the move. Like, I don't know. I guess they were just trying to really tease him in a Regina George type of way.
Yeah.
But it didn't fly with him. And I thought that was cool that he was able to just stand up to him like that. But also kind of shitty that they just pounced on him. Because like when you go into a new place, like you're really worried about how people are going to treat you. And so just automatic hazing kind of sucks.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Colleen, do you have any Banana Split?
For Banana Split, because I had like just finished reading the series and I had already seen the anime before, I didn't really have like too much I was confused on. So I was going to let you guys say, and then I could help you, or I could confirm or deny anything that you may have been confused on. I was like, this is where I might be able to help if there are any confusions.
Yes. Okay. Oh, you know what? This scene that I have here, I just didn't know how to feel, was when Kazuko, who is Mizuno's tailor, was asking about like the clothes he made for him, if he liked them, and Mizuno was like, yes, I do like them. And then Kazuko's just like, can I have a memory?
I have the same exact thing.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, like I know, which is perfectly fine. Like, we're a queer podcast, so we're okay. Like men being with men, women being with women, women being with men, people being in general with people. We're cool with that. It was just him asking for a memory. I just didn't know how to feel about it because it's like, what is Mizuno supposed to do? Like, what do you mean?
I think it's a fair ask, but my main question mark is, isn't Kakizo young?
Yeah. I don't know if he's supposed to be like 14, 15, or if he's supposed to just be like a young looking 18-year-old, because how old was Yunoshin? Was it 20 something or was it like 18?
I thought it was 19.
19? Oh, no, I think you're right, yeah. I guess he's not, like, that much older, but yeah, it is a little...
It's a little weird. Yeah.
Because, I don't know, that's kind of like, it's like me going to Taemin from Shiny.
I knew you were gonna bring Shiny into this. I was like, I better hear Taemin or Key come out of that mouth.
Yes, it's like me going to Taemin and being like, can you give me a memory? And it's just like, what? Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, which I guess they don't have selfies here. So, but a kiss was that was a lot. Like, I thought, he could have done a kiss on the cheek, to be quite honest. But
right.
Kiss on the hand.
Yeah.
Grabbed his hand, gave it a pat.
Right. Bringing it back to Oran, a passionate kiss on the cheek.
Like a hug. Yeah.
Your first thought for if someone asks you for a memory isn't just a full mouth kiss.
Right, because where has his mouth been? You don't know. We don't know. Well, I mean, they wouldn't really think about that back then, I guess. But
I'm wondering if Yunoshin just thought that, like, that's how they would want it in the Ooku. Like, all the guys maybe are kissing guys, so, like, that's what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he seemed very happy about it, so.
Very ecstatic. Rising in the ranks of popularity, and, like, he got the special kiss. Like, ooh, okay. Okay. Do you have another one, Giana?
Nope, I'm all good.
I think I put this before we found out that Mizuno dies, but doesn't really die.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Yoshimune acknowledging the barbaric tradition of the secret swain, but still going through with it anyway. I was just like, girl, but you know, she it's fine because we're cool, we're good. But at the time, I was just kind of like, why would you do that? Because first I thought maybe she's just going to pick somebody else so that they could die instead of this one that she preferred. But it worked out in the end. And when it comes to that encounter she had with the Dutchman, she was talking about the fact that when they talk to foreigners that they take on these male names. And then you also end up noticing that like Fujinami was like, you're not allowed to talk to him, because basically her talking to him shows the fact that she has a feminine voice. So I was wondering at that point, like, you know, maybe the women take on male names so that the outside world, or the world outside of Japan, still thinks it's a patriarchy and that they're surrounded by these samurai, but it's actually a matriarchy instead.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
That's essentially what
The show is, yeah.
And also the fact that I think in real life, Yoshimune was said to have had a feminine voice whenever that Dutch person visited. So I think that was like a fun little nod to that as well.
Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice touch.
There's a lot of really cool things that the author just connects to this fictional universe that she's created. I just think it's so cool the way that she's able to weave in these like real facts with this like not real story.
Yeah. Also, I guess the last one that I have is Murase, who is the chief scribe, is so old that his eyes are like black. It looked at one point that he didn't have any whites in his eyes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He's scary looking.
Very.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, like, is he possessed? Does he know more about, like, the red face pox than meets the eye? Like, why are his eyes like that?
Like, plot twist, he's possessed by the mountain spirit who caused the whole thing.
Right. The mountain spirit that set off that bear that ate up that child, which I guess segue into Rocky Road.
Right.
Sad scenes, sadness. Oh my God, like, all he wanted to do was get a mushroom for his mom.
Right? And then a fucking plague happens.
Right. Well, not even just the plague. I mean, the plague happened, but first off, he got his ass ate up.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Not even fully either. There were remains to be found.
Right. Oh, that's somehow worse.
Imagine coming across that. That would be
terrible.
Yeah.
Devastating, to
trauma.
say the least.
Yes. A new meaning to taking a bite out of that, but in a bad way.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry,
Let's dig in, but in a bad way.
Right, yes. In a bad way. Also, the red face pox in general, like, it looks really scary too.
Yeah, like I felt the stress of this town through the screen. I was equally stressed for them.
Yeah. And then they were burying them and stuff. Like, first of all, cremate me, because I don't want people to remember me or dig me up and see bits of like my red puffed up flesh. Like, no.
I think, unfortunately, I started reading this for the first time during COVID, so that was also not a great time to have started it.
Oh, no.
That would
So I equally was affecting when I was reading it. Just, like, being in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, seeing all these people's skin flaking and rotting away.
Yes, because it's just like, am I, like, reading this, it's like, am I gonna die too? Like, is this my fate? Like, yes.
Series with death do that to me a lot. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna die this way.
Right.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Colleen, do you have any rocky road?
Yeah, so I took emotional more as just like, not really made me sad, but like, it gave me like an emotion.
Yeah.
And I thought the scenes with the Shogun walking through the door was like particularly emotional. Because it would really make me hold my breath as if I was also in the chambers, like waiting for her to walk through.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way the voice like reverberates through the chamber as well with the drum in the background.
Yeah.
It's just very cool.
It's like very powerful.
Yeah.
You just sort of stand at attention, yeah.
It was a great, I can't think of the word.
Introduction?
Yeah.
Entrance.
I'm over here, I'm like circling my hands in the air trying to summon
Like
a word.
Loading.
Colleen is buffering right now. It's like no, I think it was a great entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is female power. Like, yeah. Okay. Giana, do you have any other rocky road?
Yes, I have two. So the first one that I have is Mizuno deciding to work in the inner chambers because he knows he can't be with Onobu, and then their tearful parting when he like kisses her so passionately and he wishes her to find happiness. That really tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah, like, I put that in rocky road at the same time because I think I just felt bad more so for Onobu because I don't think Mizuno's feelings really hit him for real till he was in Ooku, to be honest. Like, he kisses her, and it's like he sort of seems emotional at the time, but it was like, oh, this is a bad place. Wow. Like, and then before he dies, he's just like, I should have done more for you, Onobu. And it's like, yes, because you're going to die. Like, but he didn't. But, yeah, I just felt so bad for her. Like, the way he did it, it was like, she'll never forget you.
Yeah.
Which maybe is the point. But still, like, how can she move on past this? Because you acknowledged her feelings and then took yourself away at the same time. The last rocky road that I have is Sugishita talking about how he actually was pimped out by his family.
Yeah, that's my last one as well.
He was married and then divorced, and now he works at the palace, which I wonder, you know what? I mean, if I were him, I was just going to be quiet too, because, you know, when he was married, his wife didn't get pregnant either. Although that could be her. Like, you can't really tell if it's him or her.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I was him, I would just be quiet. Like, I don't know. You know, maybe, like, we'll see what happens. You know, we're going to keep trying and stuff. But I feel like because of the fact he was able to appeal to Yoshimune about how he has nowhere else to go, she still gave him a place to stay. But I just felt so bad for him because it's like, God, that is awful.
Yeah.
Just days on end, just being violated everywhere outside of there, inside of Ooku, because he also had the same, Mizuno didn't end up getting like raped and stuff by those guys, but Sugishita clearly had his initiation like that too. So yeah. Do you have another one?
No, I'm all good.
Okay. Let's move into Hot Fudge. To be honest, I just had one. Do either of you have Hot Fudge? We might all have the same one. I don't know.
Let's say it on 3.
Right.
Junoshin getting assaulted.
Yes.
Yeah. Sexual assault.
Yes. That was crazy. I'm glad that he was able to, like, overpower them.
Yeah.
Like, because they were like, oh, we're going to hold you down and shit, which I'm just like, that's a lot. In a room full of like, that's something else too. Like, a room full of people, like, all of y'all aren't gonna stop this for real.
Yeah, like, not only were there 3 of them, it was a room full of people, and also later Fujinami says that he knows about the newcomers' quote duty of the night, and he laughs about it like it's just this funny little thing that newcomers have to deal with.
Yeah, which is awful. You shouldn't do that. Like, I think it's different if you're like consenting to it and it's like, okay, you're all just kind of stuck here. You don't really have anybody to be emotionally connected with and you want to be intimate. Okay. But you are literally just talking shit about him and then you're just like, he, rape. Like, no, that doesn't work.
No.
But either way, yeah. I'm glad he was able to fight them off. It just irritated the shit out of me. And I'm glad he knocked that one person's teeth out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other hot fudge? Because that was the only one I had.
That was the only one I had.
Oh, I had a couple. Sorry.
Okay.
Giana's angry.
So we already touched on it, so I'm not gonna really elaborate, but like the whole the secret swain deal.
Yeah.
His duty is to take the Shogun's virginity, but then he's beheaded for it. Like, that's wild. What is that logic? The other one I have, I wrote, fuck Fujinami for setting up Mizuno to die for his twink.
Right?
And like, straight up. And then the last one I had was, I understand that Yoshimune doesn't want elaborate rituals for her bedchambers, but I think like jumping out of the bushes is kind of a lot. So that's just what I had.
It's like equally as assault.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think just the collar portion for me was just funny. But it was like, that man, like, you know, when you're working outside, you get really sweaty.
You get gross.
It's hot.
It looked like it was a hot day.
Like, you got odors you could be embarrassed about.
Right. What if it was that day? We all know that day where it's like, today has to be the day I take a shower.
Right.
Like, what if it was that day for him?
Yeah, like, just kind of ripe, almost done with work, and then here you go, like, this lady is trying to get down to business. Okay.
Not just any lady either. The one who...
The lady.
Signing your paychecks.
The amount of pressure, too, because, like, you just go from gardening to doing the business, then it's just like, is she having a good time? Because if she's not, like, does that mean I lose my life and my job? Or my job and my life?
I was gonna say, I think priorities might be a little...
Right. Switch my job and my life. Okay, any more hot fudge?
That's it for me.
Okay, cool. We'll get into Ice Cream, You Scream. This is just simple dislikes. I said that Okoku, the people in Okoku are not allowed to have personal grudges, but they do. They do. So why don't they do anything about it? Because Mizuno, until he rose into the ranks, was getting bullied. And that seems like a personal grudge to me.
Right. I also had the hazing of Mizuno just in general in Ice Cream, You Scream, but I don't think I really have to elaborate on it. But my one other Ice Cream, You Scream is just the fact that if a tailor loses a needle, nobody can leave until it's found. That's insane. That's brutal.
That's awful. Yeah. Colleen, do you have any?
I didn't put that I disliked anything really, because I feel like even if those things were like bad, they really set the tone for the inner chambers.
Oh, yeah.
So while I disliked it, or like it's not like great stuff, I feel like it works for this series with setting the tone.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll put stuff in Ice Cream, You Scream if it was just like, this angered me, but like the writing was effective in angering me.
Yeah. It did its job.
Yeah. Like, one of the things I had was very reactionary, where I'm just like, they're going to behead our fave Mizuno? Secret swain my ass. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I was really like, are they going to kill off the guy we just spent an hour watching? And then I was like, yeah, I actually wouldn't put it past them, but damn.
Yeah. And he had the eye makeup on too. Why did they put the eye makeup on before he started knocking boots with her? I was wondering what that was for.
I'm sure it's some cultural thing. I would have to look it up.
Yeah.
They never really explain it or anything, because I think it's just something that Japanese people probably know.
Right.
But like, we don't, so...
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I mean, like, he wasn't wearing his fancy clothes. He had on, like, the regular, like, white, I guess, bedchamber clothes type thing and was, like, crying and shit. But in any case, we're going to go into episode 2. Here is our soft serve summary. Sometime in the past, the shogun dies from red face pox, and the young and handsome Arikoto, the new abbot of Keiko-en, visits Edo to pay his respects to the new shogun Iemitsu. He catches the eye of Lady Kasuga, head of the Ooku, and is pressured to stay in Edo and become a page to Iemitsu. When he refuses to recant his monastic vows and have sex with a woman, Lady Kasuga orders one of his companions killed and one of the women who was sent to tempt him as well. Arikoto is then forced to decide between maintaining his vows or saving the lives of his remaining companion, Gyokuei, and the other two women. However, the women are secretly killed later to ensure their silence. That's our summary. Themes. Giana, do you have a theme?
Like I said, I was struggling with themes, so I just put the Ooku is shady AF question mark.
No, don't drop the question. It is.
Yeah. Well, the question is that the theme? But yeah, no, it is definitely shady.
Definitely shady. Colleen?
I put the bleakness of the new world that the disease has started.
Ooh.
Because I feel like with the last episode, it didn't feel as bleak. It just kind of felt like the normal of that society. But this one feels like, oh, this is a bleak world that we are coming into.
Yeah.
We are starting this diary off with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we went in because the prequel or first episode was technically the sequel to everything happening. It's like we're going back into this is what makes things scary. The unknown. Yeah. I have that. It's a quote, actually, from Gyokuei, and it's, "The weak will always submit to the strong. That's the law of nature."
Oh, okay.
And I think that's just because I wouldn't say that Arikoto is weak. I don't think that Arikoto is weak at all. But I think because of the circumstances and the fact that, you know, his comrade was killed and that lady was killed for no reason, it's just like, you've got to give it up. And like, I think repeatedly post him renouncing his vows and then finally getting into the Ooku, that's something that we saw kind of repeatedly of him having to submit. So when Iemitsu started beating his ass, well, not really, but like smacking his face with the fan and stuff, it was just like, oh, you gotta submit again. But yeah. Does anyone have sprinkle on top? Because I don't for this episode.
I don't either.
I didn't either.
That's fine with us. So we're going to move into what's your vote? So, Giana, what is one of your likes?
I only have two, and one of them is so general. The first one I have is that I just love the vibes from Arikoto. He just seems like an amazing person, and I just love his energy.
Yeah, just very optimistic. I think it wasn't really until things got dire that he had to shift, but the type of person that he is, he just tries to see the better in people. Well, I guess that's because he was a monk, but like just tries to see the best in people or work his way around things so that it works out to his benefit.
Yeah. He seems like a true man of the people. Like, he just wants to help others.
Mm-hmm. I have that Arikoto blessed that dead man who had the red face pox in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Which was nice because no other monks were doing that. Well, not doing that, but in particular for that person, like their family was talking about how no one else blessed them, even though they tried. So it was really nice of him to do that.
Definitely.
Colleen?
I thought the drama in the episode was paced really well. There was never a moment that made me bored in this episode. I felt it was just paced so well.
Yeah, it was nice. I think especially in contrast to the very first episode, not to say that it wasn't paced well, but it was like the first episode we dove headfirst into this lore, into this world of everything that's going on. And so like with this, it's less like, okay, we're now sort of have the ability to just experience it versus, I mean, we're still learning, but it's just more so like, okay, these are the beats. This is the way that tension is rising, how things are changing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it felt more like a TV episode than what it did before, which was like a really long movie.
Yeah. I also have, I don't know, I feel like in general, Gyokuei, as a character, I feel like Gyokuei is kind of banana split for me. But I will say that it was nice to see him get upset on Arikoto's behalf.
Yeah.
When they were trying to, like, leave, and he was just adamant, like, no, like, we need to go back to Kyoto. We need to go and be monks. What are you doing? Even to the point of when he almost died and he was just like, I don't care, don't renounce. Like, you know, I think it was just good to see somebody on Arikoto's side.
Definitely, yeah.
And I have one more like.
Me too.
Colleen?
My other like was Mamoru Miyano, who does the voice of Arikoto.
Oh, okay.
He's my man. He voices my boy Taichi from Chihayafuru, so I just love hearing him whenever he shows up.
Oh.
He's the Josei voice.
Yes.
Yes.
He's got such, like, an emotion to his voice, though. He always sounds like he's, like, about to cry.
Which, I mean, I would get that. I mean, at least when it comes to this situation, or at least Arikoto's situation, I would almost cry, too, because you killed, different segment. Sorry.
It's intense.
My bad.
Yeah.
I can rate it in. But yeah, no, I think he did a really good job. And I think we were just able to easily connect with Arikoto based off of, like, his performance, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had that Arikoto, well, of course, compartmentalizing. Arikoto not going through with touching the courtesans, but instead spending time with them, playing games.
Yes. I have that too. I love how he's like, oh, well, if they want us to enjoy their company, we shall enjoy their company. And then it's just cutting to them having super wholesome fun.
Playing tag.
Yeah, and just like being able to talk to one another. And like he also, which I really liked, I guess I can tag that on, just his conversation with Kagiku, which was the courtesan who he ended up being paired with, but still, like, he was able to hear her out and hear about her experiences and stuff. And, I mean, very valiantly tried to just not touch them at all, you know?
Yeah.
It just wasn't meant to be. But, yeah. But that's the last one that I had. Do you have another one, Colleen?
No, those were my two.
Okay, then we are going to move into Banana Split.
I don't have any somehow, so.
Okay. Colleen, do you have any?
I didn't have any either.
Okay. It's just me here. No,
It all comes down to Chika.
It all comes down to me. Okay. So, not that I'm confused by it, but I feel that Gyokuei telling Arikoto to maintain his faith as if Myokuei wasn't just like cut down, like blood on the floor, oozing everywhere, all on the screen, and they just killed a courtesan. I feel like he was saying no, but he should have understood Arikoto's level of guilt. He didn't want anybody else to die. I don't know, I kind of wish that he got it at a certain point, because it's like you're just making him feel more conflicted. Like, by saying don't submit, like how he doesn't have a choice.
Right.
And also Kagiku saying that she was a woman in her prime at 23
At 23!
Oh my god, I have that in I Scream You Scream. I paused the episode and cackled for like a minute. Oh my god, it's like I get that things were different back then, but if 23 is your prime, I'm in more trouble than I thought.
Right. Like, just take me out back. It's over.
Yeah.
My prime is done. I haven't been 23 I don't even remember what I was like as when I was 23. Oh. Well, no, I do. I was in grad school, but it was just, no, like, prime? Come on now. That's not the prime. Like, but anyway.
I guess when you're dying at like 35, that's technically like your 60s.
Right,
that
true.
Makes more
I
sense,
guess
yeah.
that them just dying early because of different stuff. Yeah. I understand.
It's funny to hear.
Yeah, because it's just like prime,
yeah.
like Optimus. Like, come on. But okay. But that's it. That's all I had for Banana Split. So I guess we can move on to Rocky Road.
I also don't have Rocky Road. I feel like I put stuff in like Hot Fudge that was probably like also like overlapping Rocky Road. Yeah.
Okay, I had Kogiku talking about how she got sold to the pleasure house because of her husband's gambling debts.
Yeah, I put that in Hot Fudge, but it's like it could live easily in both. Like, that's terrible.
I mean, it's a different time. It was a different time because I was just like, you can't sell me off. Like, that is your fault. That's not my fault. Like, that's terrible. Yeah, I just felt really awful for her. And then Arikoto being forced to renounce his faith because he didn't want Gyokuei to die like Myokuei.
Yep, and that's another thing that I actually had in Hot Fudge, because like that's a lot to strip away from a person. That's like his entire
being
purpose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Colleen, do you have any Rocky Road?
I just said the end of the episode when he was forced to submit to Kasuga.
Yeah.
And having to renounce his vows and all that.
Yeah.
It was very emotional.
It was just really hard, like, because you just know how much it meant to him, and then it's just done just because he looks good. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially because he is clearly such a good candidate for being like this head monk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the good people in the world, it had to be him that they plucked away.
Yeah. Because all he wanted to do was help people. And it's like going from that mindset of I'm going to devote myself to my faith and helping the people around me to being stuck essentially in this cage to just procreate with one person. That's awful. Like,
yeah,
who's got like 500 other people as well already.
Yeah, like you have so many other. You don't really need him. But yeah. Okay, let's move into Hot Fudge.
Okay.
So I was annoyed by. We do find out who it is, but the street slasher person that was cutting people's hair, there's literally a whole plague going on, and you're cutting hair?
Yeah, I put that in Ice Cream You Scream. That's like insane.
Yeah. I mean, just take it from somebody that never really wanted to cut their hair, me. Somebody just cut it. Like, you have to die. Like, why would you do that? Like, it's one thing if I want to have this nice haircut, or you know what, I want to be like Colleen and just get these amazing androgynous haircuts that are so gendered, that are like it gives K-pop with the nice color, all of those. It's one thing if I wanted to do that, but if I didn't want to and you just jacked my shit up, no, just awful.
Not even in a good way either. It's just a sword. They're going full Yono with this. They're just cutting the hair off with the sword.
Yeah.
You don't even get a good haircut.
I wear my hair long. I really prefer it long. So if that happened to me, I would somehow get that sword in my own hands. Like,
right. Like, oh, you cut my hair. You're just gonna have to cut me too, because nah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, I said that Kasuga is a demented bitch that needs to die.
Pretty much. Yeah, the way she just starts killing people. Oh my god. My jaw was on the floor.
She's just like, I will be here. You, monk, will have sex. I will watch you and everything. I will destroy your spirit. I will get people telling me your reactions to things. I will just destroy everything that you care about and love. What inside you died to just make you think like this is the way to go about dealing with people? Like, just
right.
Just hate her.
I also put anything Kasuga said or did.
Yeah.
Just a terrible, terrible human being. But yeah, does anyone else have any more Hot Fudge?
I do have one.
Okay.
It was in one of like the flashbacks with the red pox, and they're like around the dead body and the guy's like, stop your crying, we can have another child. I was like, I'm so sorry. What the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? How is that your reaction to losing your kid?
It's not the samurai way.
It's like, there's the samurai, like, oh, he's dead, we can make another. But you just, like, all these years of knowing the one that just died. Like, come on.
Right, this isn't a craft project that went wrong that you can start over. This is a life.
Right, and it hasn't even been, like, it was a recent death, too. He's just like...
They're staring at the body.
Yeah. Like, you could still see all his bumps and lumps. Like, that's so... What a terrible father.
Oh my god.
Okay, let us move into I Scream, You Scream.
We said mine already, so I am actually all good.
Okay, I think mine are just basically reactionary. It's just like, run, Arikoto, Kasuga is crazy boots. Oh, it's like, oh, they're stuck in the castle now. And what was the last one? Oh, yeah, and I felt bad for that courtesan that got killed. I mean, they both died, but it was like the first one that died. All she did was scream, because anybody else would scream too if you're just seeing somebody freshly get killed, like blood on the ground. Like,
yeah.
But rest in peace to the other courtesan and to Kagi. Like, just, but anyway, yeah, just terrible. Kasuga, like, when I catch you, Kasuga. When I catch you, Kasuga.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you.
I'm gonna find you. But yeah, does anyone else have any I Scream, You Scream?
I did, actually.
Oh, okay.
So, the animation in this episode from the first episode was so bad. I feel like in the first episode, there was nothing that I felt like was noticeably bad. In this episode, the art looked like it was downgraded. The movements felt weird. I feel like they really put most of their budget for this series into that first episode, because, like, from here on, it does not get any better.
I guess that's what we have to look forward to, Giana.
Ah, yes. Hooray.
Oh, just wait. Just wait. I can't wait for you guys to... I think it's episode 6.
Oh, God.
no.
There's one scene that's so bad.
Oh, I'll keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Just wait. Once you see it, I know you'll be like, that is what it's... That,
okay. That's what they were talking about.
We'll just... we'll message you about it. Like, I can't believe this
Please
shit.
do.
Like, yeah.
Just laughing, crying emojis.
Yeah.
I'll know.
Yeah. Okay. Any other I Scream, You Scream?
Nope.
That was my only one.
Okay, let's get into Ooku episode 3. Here's our soft serve summary. As more men outside of Edo succumb to the pox and women are forced to take on their duties, Gyokuei joins Arikoto in the all-male Ooku, where they begin their new life. Lady Kasuga presents Arikoto the Shogun, where he is stunned to find she is a young woman instead of a man. She then beats him when he refuses to accept a woman's name, Oman, in place of his own. The retainer Inaba Masakatsu explains to Arikoto that he provides the mature male voice of the Shogun, and how 17 years ago, the young Iemitsu raped a local woman who then gave birth to a daughter. When Iemitsu Sr. died from the pox without an heir, Lady Kasuga kept his death a secret and made the girl the Shogun, also closing the country off to foreigners to protect the secret. Arikoto then learns that his role is to act as breeding stock for the Shogun so that the Tokugawa bloodline will be continued. And that's our summary. Okay, final themes for this last episode in this pod episode. Giana, what is your theme?
I'm so sorry. I could not think of one for this episode.
Wow, you betrayed me.
I'm sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. Colleen, do you have a theme?
The theme that I went with for this episode was the full-on switching of the roles in society, because we're seeing Iemitsu is being called liege, and Arikoto is, like, pointing out, well, she's not a man, so why are we calling her that?
Right.
And also her wanting him to submit to her in the same way by calling him by a woman's name. I thought that was like a cool little detail that I missed the first time going through the series, that she probably wanted to call him a female name because she's having to be called a male name.
Oh, right, yeah.
Turnabout's fair play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My theme is just on the same lines, but very simple. Just things are not as they appear to be.
Yeah.
Especially with Iemitsu Jr. I just started to do that because I was just like, okay, I need to keep track of like senior, junior, all of that. But sprinkle on top. Does anyone have any?
I do.
Ooh, woohoo, let's see.
I mean, I do, but it's like really super not serious.
It might be the same as mine.
I don't know, Chika.
Okay.
Okay. So I put that she gifts Arikoto a cat because she's going to be giving up that pussy to him someday. And also, it's a white cat, which is the color of purity, and it makes it even funnier.
Oh, see, that... You know what? Look at you. I feel like you won today. If it was a competition. If it was a competition. Like, Giana has got the sprinkles for this episode.
I came with the sprinkles this week. Not the themes, but the sprinkles.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you have?
I also had the cat. But I didn't say that it was because she's going to give him pussy later. I said that, I think it's a mercy offering for beating his ass up.
That's probably much more likely.
Yeah, like, oh, like, please don't think I'm too bad after doing all of that. Like, here's this nice cat to comfort you. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Colleen, do you have any sprinkle on top?
So I actually didn't have any in my notes, but I did think about also putting the cat because the cat is like basically what you said, a truce.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like waving a white flag. It's a white cat.
Yeah. Another way to think
Waving a
about
white
it.
pussy.
White pussy. Right. Just virginal, just never been tried. Like, okay. Brand new. Maybe even a kitten. You know?
Oh my god.
It all makes sense. Okay. Well, let's move into Floats Your Boat. Colleen, actually, do you have a Floats Your Boat?
I'm so boring. I put the music again and the voice acting again.
No, it's fine.
That's valid, yeah.
I just really appreciate the sound design in this series. I feel like it's one of the best aspects of it, other than the story.
Right, it pushes it forward. Where the animation lacks, the music helps to make up for things.
It still makes you emotional, even though you're just, like, looking at, like, janky little movements.
And then the voice acting?
Yeah, voice acting was really good in this one. I feel like, once again, Mamoru Miyano, my boy, he really, that first little, like, monologue that he has when he comes back in to the room after having been forced to have sex with a woman, and he's like, you can hear it. You can hear the sadness in his voice. I'm just like, how does he do it?
Yeah, like his soul is breaking,
Yeah.
but he, like, got that through with his voice, yeah. Okay, Giana? What is one of your likes?
Can I lump them all together, even though they're not, like, related, just because it's super reactionary? I just have 3, like, super short things.
No, it's fine.
I just thought that Gyokuei's fierce loyalty to Arikoto was nice, because I think Arikoto just really needed someone in his corner. I put Arikoto with hair is fine, and cat in all caps with exclamation points. I love cats. Soleil has actually been sitting in my lap the entire time we've been recording.
Oh,
She's being real sweet today.
Soleil is our mascot, the podcast mascot.
You're Cat Scott.
Cat Scott.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you know what? We could say that Pongo is an honorary mascot, too.
Honorary Cat Scott Pongo, who was just causing havoc in the background
Oh.
while we were talking about the last episode.
I mean, it was a hard episode, so I understand.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. My Floats Your Boat were also similarly like Gyokuei going with Arikoto to Okoku, so he's not by himself and has like support. And then I also put that it's poetic justice that we find out that Lord Iemitsu, the senior, was the street slasher, and he ended up dying. Because fuck that hoe. Like, you were cutting people's hair, you were cutting people, and you were a rapist too. Like, die, bitch, die. Like,
Right.
So I'm gonna hold my tongue because you'll actually find out a piece of information later.
Ooh.
About something else. So I'll hold my tongue though, so you guys can find that out on your own.
but he's dead!
Ooh.
Okay. Well, at least for today, for this episode, I'm happy.
For right now.
I don't know what the secret is. I don't know what we'll find out, but I'm glad that he died because fuck him. Evil.
He does suck. No matter what, he does suck.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move into Banana Split. The first one that I have is just seeing the slow demise of this society because of the pox was kind of sad for me. Maybe that should have been a rocky road, but I guess, I don't know. But either way, I was just like, oh, that's kind of sad to see that, you know, people are just trying to figure out what the new normal is. And it's very chaotic.
Yeah.
And just having to, while also dealing with a crazy pandemic that is wiping out like half of your people, also having to figure out how to take over those roles from them when they did not allow you to have those roles to begin with.
Yeah, like there's trial and error.
Yeah.
It depends on their food too, right? Like if you you can't really mess up too bad because you have to harvest. You have to be able to eat your harvest and stuff. And yeah, it was sad seeing that one family in particular kind of talk about it. Like, we can't ask for help. We have to do it on our own.
Oh, yeah.
And the reluctance from the grandma too in that family being like, no, you have to stay home. Like, that's your job. It's like, hey, that's not my job anymore. People are dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just the early markers of society changing.
Yeah.
I have another banana split, but do either of you have one too?
I just put when the new attendant Masasuke showed up. I was like, he seems nice, but I don't know where his loyalties lie. So that's why it's banana split.
Yeah. He's not loyal.
I didn't think so. But I figured I'd keep it in.
Yeah. Okay. Colleen?
So the one thing, and we already kind of touched on this, I think, with the last episode, the one thing I've never completely understood is why it had to be Arikoto.
Yeah.
Who was forced into the chamber. It doesn't really make a ton of sense why it had to be him and why he was called in the first place. I do understand that he's, like, shown to be this very beautiful person, but it just feels a little contrived, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to be like, oh, yeah, we just want you because you're pretty. And it's like, okay, but you probably could have gotten other people that were pretty, and you also already had people that were pretty. I just never understood why it had to be him specifically.
Yeah, no, I feel exactly the same way because it's like you literally stole somebody from their faith.
And what it feels like out of nowhere as well.
Right. Yeah, because it's kind of like, okay, it's one thing if there were so many people like dying, right? Or maybe even within the Ooku, like maybe there are some people still somehow getting this plague thing. Okay, then not that it's right, but then stealing the monk makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. So it's like you didn't have, like, does Iemitsu Jr. like pretty faces? And it's like, at all costs, they have to be pretty? Like, it doesn't make sense to me either. I didn't really know how to feel because I didn't necessarily feel bad for him. But Kasuga telling Inaba, her literal child, that he died, not Iemitsu. And so he has to act as like this body double like person. I was just like, that's kind of fucked up. Cause like, I mean, I understand they had to say clearly somebody died, but that's so cold-blooded, like your own kid.
Yeah.
Who's continuing your family name then? Kasuga? Like who okay. And then I did put Gyokuei and Banana Split. So I put Gyokuei and Banana Split because I thought he's a little too hot-blooded for somebody that used to be a commoner. Like, I get that he wants to save Arikoto and for Arikoto to fulfill his dreams and stuff, but he has a harder time accepting what's happening than Arikoto is. And I don't know, I feel like if you're already a commoner and you know what the hierarchy is, like, you would think he'd be a little bit quieter, I guess. Not that he doesn't need to be devoted, but he's just always, like, ready to fight, ready to yell, all of that.
Yeah, I think he's kind of deified Arikoto in a lot of ways, and he does say it at one point, being like, Buddha didn't save me, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he definitely just has kind of like a god. He doesn't have a god complex. He has one towards him?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing.
He's idolizing, I guess.
Yeah, he's idolizing him.
Yeah.
So he probably never would have been a good monk to begin with.
Yeah.
If Arikoto wasn't around, because he's only there for Arikoto.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he would have become a monk if it weren't for Arikoto.
Same.
Yeah, because you guys will see some of the stuff he does.
Oh, God.
I just keep saying, you'll see later, you'll see later.
It's like this sense of foreboding. Like,
Right.
and then you're just like, you'll see later. You'll know why.
It's hard to be filled with so much knowledge right at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into Rocky Road. I feel like this might be on everyone. It's just really Arikoto being forced to renounce being a monk, but then I think also just kind of seeing his reaction to finding out that his family knows where he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like on the inside he was hoping his family would put up more of a fuss, but that doesn't happen at all.
Right. Yeah, that's very disappointing. I can't, imagine how he was feeling in that moment. The particular thing I have regarding Arikoto is the memory that he has when he's thinking, one day I will become the abbot and save as many lives as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And his heart's just broken, and he feels powerless and like he failed.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, maybe it's just because of the fact that we got to see that those courtesans did end up getting killed and everything. It's just kind of like, had he known, maybe he would have just chosen to die instead.
They probably still would have killed them. Right.
They would have killed them regardless. So it's just kind of like, okay, you're holding on for Gyokuei, and Gyokuei is just like, I'm ready to die. We're gonna be monks. In monk what? I don't know if they have heaven in
monk heaven.
Monk heaven.
I don't know if they have heaven in Buddhism.
In monk heaven.
In everlasting peace. I don't know. But yeah, either way, it was just very, very sad. Any rocky road from either of you?
No, that was it.
Yeah, I just put the aftermath between Gyokuei and Arikoto when he comes back into the room.
Yeah.
After it's happened. It's just really sad.
Yeah. Because I think at that point, he was still sort of trying to protect him because he didn't realize that Gyokuei wouldn't be able to leave.
Yeah.
Until Murase? Whoever that man is. The snake. The spy. The
attendant guy.
The Kasuga. Yeah.
Masasuke.
Until he was just like, oh, yeah, you're right. Until he was just like, you might as well tell him because you stuck here. Y'all are done. So, yeah. But okay, I guess we can move into Hot Fudge. I put this in all caps because, we already talked about it, but I was just like, Kasuga, she killed Kagiku, bitch.
I'll add on to that with what I put. I just want to slap her wrinkly neck.
Right,
honestly.
Girl. Talking about Iemitsu Sr. was slashing hair. I would have grabbed that girl by the hair. Yo.
Would have been slashing more than hair.
Yeah.
Slash the wrinkly neck.
Yeah. Or then make it look like seppuku. Actually, it's a funny anecdote. That's not that funny, but I took some sort of class, and I had to read about like the 7 samurai, and that's where I learned about seppuku for the first time, where it's like you cut your stomach like with a knife and you take your intestines out, and then you take the knife and then cut it up more up your chest and you die. And so in college, this is very morbid, but it was funny to me. I like anytime I would get stressed out about exams, I would just be like, it's time for seppuku. I would do the motions as if I was really gonna die, but I didn't. But
that's what college does to all of us. So
yeah. It was a little gag that I had.
Yeah,
it was how to get your emotions out.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody else have hot fudge or more hot fudge?
I assume we all notated rape down in Hot Fudge.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't elaborate. I literally just wrote the word.
Yeah, no. I was just like, Inaba told her to bear rape?
Right.
And it was his fault. It was his fault because he was looking at her and he was like, oh, just telling Iemitsu Senior, like, oh, like, yeah, you know, she seems of good stature, she looks nice or whatever. He's trying to, like, I guess in a way teach him about the ways of the world. And this guy is just so evil. He's just like, oh, well, since you like her so much, I'm just gonna rape her in front of you, which is fucked up. Like, how do you just stand by, like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I was always under the assumption that Iemitsu Senior was supposed to be either gay or into men.
Yeah. That's what I thought at first, too.
So, like, this scene is mostly just, like, him being like, I'm in power. Look, I can dominate anyone, even if I don't like them.
Yeah, I think he said something like, oh, you like women so much, let's see what you like about them or something.
Yeah. Honestly, I wonder if Iemitsu would have just gone after Inaba, to be honest. Since they were just around each other. Like, I wonder if that's why, like, he did that. Like, I mean, outside of, like, asserting his dominance, but just being like, well, he's twisted, but he wants Inaba, and Inaba says he thought that this girl was good looking. So then he's like, I'm going to destroy this girl. So then it's just me left in his mind or something. Real nasty. Oh, and then the last thing I had is Iemitsu Jr. beating Arikoto in the face with the fan. Like, how hard is that fan? That, like, blood? Like,
right. She probably found, like, the right angle or something. It's brutal.
Yeah, because I'm just like slap. I was like, okay, first of all, this is very dark. But for me, I just thought of Roots. So if y'all seen Roots, there's this scene where you see like LeVar Burton reading Rainbow Guy. Like, he's in Roots and he has his own name, and then they're trying to be like, your name is Toby, and then they start beating his ass, like, with, like, whipping him, literally. So I'm just, like, when I was seeing that, I was just mental flashbacks of, like, oh my gosh, Roots. Slavery. Okay. Just terrible. But either way, I was just, like, okay, you did the first 2 slaps, now you're being a bit excessive. You need to chill. Like, so by the time she gave the cat and everything, I was just like, oh my gosh, is she going... At first, I was like, oh, are we going to see another rape? But then instead, it was like, here's this cat, I guess.
Yeah.
Feel better, like...
Sorry I beat you up. Here's a cat.
Sorry I beat you until you bled and stuff. Yeah. But that's all I have for Hot Fudge. Is there any more Hot Fudge with either of you?
Nope.
No, but I did put... for the next one, I did put Iemitsu slapping him.
Oh, for Ice Cream, You Scream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also where I had that. And also her saying that he's annoyingly strong-willed and to train him to answer faster. Sorry to jump the gun before you announced the segment move.
Right. No, it's fine. It's fine. We can just fully embrace Ice Cream, You Scream. We're into it now.
Yeah, that's all I had, though, for Ice Cream, You Scream.
And now Ice Cream, You Scream is over.
Oh, almost. I think I had... Wait. Oh, I put that Arikoto can't contact his family anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he can't speak the Kyoto court language, which, why was that even a problem? But okay.
They're all about power moves here. They're like, whatever way we can make Arikoto just, like, not get to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And you would think you would want someone who is supposed to be giving seed
Right.
to be a little more comfortable.
Right. Like, oh, you hitting him, being mean to, I would stay soft if I was him. I'm just saying. I don't know if anything's gonna get up if you're that mean to me. Like, it's just, nah. And that's just how I see it. But in any case, I would also just head that Kasuga is a nasty woman. I hope she dies a nasty death. And then after the rape, the Inaba scene telling that lady to bear the rape, I was just like, oh, Kasuga would be his mom. That's like, yeah, y'all are just fucked up people. Like, y'all, that's just genetic. Okay.
Being a terrible person runs in the genes in that family.
Most definitely, yes. But yeah, I guess that's actually all we've got for Ooku episodes 1 through 3. Thank you so much, Colleen, for coming onto our podcast.
Yes.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was super fun getting to talk about Ooku, because it's not a series I get to talk about a lot.
Yes. And, guys, also, if you want to hear more about Colleen's thoughts on Ooku, they have a video on their YouTube channel right now talking about it. Well, at least about both like the anime and the manga, right? Or just the manga?
Just the anime, actually, because I was mostly trying to get people to watch the anime so it wouldn't fly under the radar.
And you are continuing the cause today.
Yes, on the front lines.
Yes, on the front line. So if you want to see more of their thoughts, go to their YouTube channel, Colleen's Manga Rex. Subscribe. We subscribed. Thank you, Your Eminence, for being on our podcast. Shoujo Nation.
Please, I'll bow down. I'll bow down in front of the Shoujo podcasting eminence.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No. It's we're so grateful to have you on. No, seriously though, it's been very fun getting to know you as a person and stuff, but then also being in this fight for Shoujose content together. So it means so much that you came on, and we hope to have you on again.
If you guys have a Chihaya Furu ever.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? I mean, we're doing Josei now too, so you know it can happen. It can
You
happen.
never know. Yeah.
I'll be on for every episode.
Right. We'll just have you on like permanently for the range of episodes. Just like yeah, Colleen is also here.
Yes.
But yeah, so I guess we can get into Patreon. So guys, we were weekly in February, and we hope you enjoyed that so much. And now we're not. So if you would like for us to go back to being weekly and on Sundays, please consider joining our Patreon. We have multiple tiers, so you could really just come in wherever you would like. Anything that you provide helps us out so much, because our money goes to getting editor support so that Giana does not get burnt out, which is very important.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you would like, please join our Patreon. We would love it.
Yes, and with that said, let's give a big shout out to all of our patrons, starting with our Sprinkles patrons, Kemi, Pete, PJ, and Miles. For our Whipped Cream patrons, we have Mary and Mark M. And for our Hot Fudge patrons, we have Mark D, Mackenzie, AJ, and Aaron. Thank you all so much for being our patrons.
Yes, thank you. And now for our socials. So you can find Shoujo Sundae basically everywhere. Also on Blue Sky and Threads at Shoujo Sundae. We're a fun time, so, tune in with us. As well as you can find Colleen. Colleen, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Colleen's Manga, on Instagram at Colleen's Manga Rex, or on YouTube, Colleen's Manga Rex.
Cool. And subscribe. And don't leave. Actually, you know what? Let me get on the soapbox. Because, I did this for Avery when Avery came on and stuff. But I, honest to God, I think that y'all, when you watch Colleen's videos and then you are like a shonen head or an incel, and then you just decide, I'm going to leave these terrible comments. I'm going to attack them over and over again. I think that y'all are assholes. I think you have no life. I don't really know the purpose of your life. Your parents really should have thought better and just had you in a sock, you know, so that we don't have to personally deal with you. Fuck off. Yeah.
Oh, but Chika, if they don't harass me, I won't get to post the insane comments on my Twitter.
True, but it's just like, you know, I just don't like them. So, I mean, I just don't. I mean, I get it because it's funny. It's like, on one hand, it's funny, and on the other hand, it's just like, leave Colleen alone. For the love of God. And then it's not even just like the incel weirdo people that don't have a channel or don't do anything. Some of y'all actually do have channels, and then you're even extra weird, and you're just like, oh, well, you know what? Let's have a debate. For what? For what? You just want views. That's what you just want views. And it's not happening, and it's not cool, and we don't like that. I can say that as part of Hojo Nation. So yeah, fuck off. You should be in a sock.
There's actual tears from laughter. It's a beautiful way to end.
Yes. You know, I try, like, I just...
Fuck off, you should be in a sock.
Yes.
Next Shoujo Sundae merch.
Oh my god.
For real, if we have merch, that'll be a thing. You should be in a sock. Like, think about it. You hate shoujo, you should be in a sock. But in any case, if you would like to follow us individually, I'm Chika Supreme. You can find me, like, I have a Twitter, but I'm kind of private on there. So you could really find me on Blue Sky, Instagram. Find me, Chika Supreme, and Giana.
Hi, I am Giana Luna. My debut single, Twilight Champagne, is streaming everywhere if you want to give that a listen. And you can follow me at Giana_Luna_ across socials, and that's Giana with one N.
And I guess we will see you guys next time for more Ooku. Ooh, I almost did it. For more Ooku.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
We will see you then.
Bye.